Hey, so on the weekends I like to kind of meal prep for the week. I cook for my mom. I also cook for our family. Today I found I'm going to make some fish and chicken. It's going to be like the Long John Silver type. The batter's going to be a thicker batter. But the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take my chicken and I'm going to put it in a buttermilk brine. Now, I don't have buttermilk, but don't worry. There's an easy fix for that. We just use regular milk and white vinegar, and you let it set for about 5 minutes and it curdles. I'm also going to put a little bit of Frank's hot sauce. We put this on everything. And I'm going to add a few of these just to kind of give it a little pickly brine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour some milk. You can do as much as what you're thinking you're going to do to cover the meat up. When you make buttermilk and you soak your proteins in it, it becomes tender. And it also retains the moisture. So pretty much every meat that I have that's that I use, pork, beef, chicken, I usually soak it in buttermilk. You can soak it into buttermilk for up to a day, but I'm going to be doing this for supper tonight, so I'm going to cook it throughout the day. Frank has been working 7 days a week. I encouraged him to buy a track hoe because I felt like that would make our business grow in a different direction. And he jumped right on board when I suggested track hoe. And within about a week, we found a track hoe. We have a friend named Bob. I call him YouTube Bob because he became friends with us through YouTube. I'm going to get some scissors to cut this open because I can't quite get it. I'm just going to cut this open. I can't pull this little string. This chicken I got is from Crest. I think I got it for like $6, which is really cheap. They maintain it around that price. I go once a week to Crest and I just bargain shop. I just look for what's on sale, but this chicken's always on sale. So I'm going to just do about 4 pieces of chicken. I'm going to go ahead and pour some milk over it. And you can use however much you need. And then I'm going to pour some vinegar in it. I'm going to put some Frank's hot sauce in it. We put that blank on everything. And I'm going to get a couple of these peppers and a little bit of the juice to get a little brine going. And I'm just going to pour a little bit of the juice in here. As you notice, I've got it in a Ziploc bag and I've got it in this container. And I'm going to pour just a little bit more milk in here just to get it to where it'll be covered. I'm removing the air and I'm Ziplocking it. So I'm going to just let this chicken hang out, thaw out, and then I'll throw it in the refrigerator. And that's what we're going to have for supper tonight. Okay, so remember when I was doing the buttermilk chicken? I had drained the chicken, I drained the fish from the water, and I put it on a paper towel and I have been drying it. I cut off little pieces of things that I don't like. There was a bone in here on the fish. I cut out these little, I think they're tendons. So that's just going to go to the dogs. There is a recipe that I've used before, but this is just so much easier. I like using this seasoned beer batter. So I put that in this bowl. And then I'm just going to pour the beer on top of it. Guys, don't tell my mom that she's eating beer battered fish and chicken. She doesn't drink and smoke and hang around with all of those that do. So I'm just going to stir this up. It's going to make a pretty thick mixture. I'm also heating my oil in the Dutch oven. The Dutch oven keeps the temperature even. So you just want to get the lumps out. I've had the chicken and fish laying out to where it's room temperature. If I find that it fries easier that way. You want to get your oil up to about 350 degrees, and I use a meat thermometer or a thermometer to find out what that is. So it takes a while for that oil to heat up. So I'm going to do my chicken first. I'm going to just throw the chicken in here. The thing about fish and chicken, this is something that Frank can eat when he takes on his lunches. It doesn't have to be heated up, so he can just bring it in his lunchbox. So it's kind of a good alternative to a sandwich. I try to do this about once a month. I get my catfish on sale at Crest. I usually buy a big packet for about $6, and it makes about 3 meals for us. And it makes some lunches for him. Okay, so I'm just going to check the heat. We are at 350, so I'm going to lower the heat a little bit to medium because we're over 350. And I'm just going to take the chicken. Now, these little drops that are coming out of the batter make really good crunchy things, similar to what you would have gotten in Long John Silver's. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't eaten at Long John Silver's in a long time. They used to be great, but, you know, I don't even know if there's any in Oklahoma anymore. I think there are, but I'm not going to crowd the meat. I'm just going to, I say that and then I just did. As you can see, it's starting to already turn golden brown. This is just a really easy meal, and then it reheats really good as well. Or not, you can eat it cold. Because this cooks so quickly, and browns so quickly, I'm going to use the thermometer to make sure the chicken goes to 160. That little piece is getting close. That one's done. And these two thicker ones need to cook a little bit more. I've got a paper towel on a plate. The paper towel absorbs the grease. I just kind of pull it out and drop them off, and then I usually sprinkle a little bit of salt on them. I'm going to let these cook a little bit longer, but this is pretty much it. I'm going to pair this meal with some homemade macaroni and cheese and some black-eyed peas. So I finished my chicken. It does not take long. I'm just going to scoop up some of these little crispy things. And I'm going to let this oil heat back up a little bit to get back into the heat. I've got my fish in the same batter mix. Just going to lay it in there. Again, don't overcrowd it. I just use like 4 pieces at a time. If you want more of the crispy batter, just let it drip.